So I suppose I better catch you up. So we got home a few days ago and now it's the first day back in. And I'm not sure about it. So let's try to settle in, and it's fairly tidy that way, although probably all the mess is behind me. Perhaps should have tidied that up before putting the camera on, or could have put the camera the other way. Kind of got the camera propped up because I forgot the tripod. I'm not quite organised or with it yet. No. That's okay, just doing my best like everyone else. And I have to admit, I might look a little bit tired. It's partly from long journeys and also sore back, so I'm still in back pains. And I don't want to see the chiropractor again because I think that made it worse. Yeah, I'm not quite sure I'm going to get it fixed at the moment. So I'm just settling in on my first day back. I got my mum's cardie. My mum knitted this for me and it's my studio cardie. And I'm snuggled in it because I'm really missing her. But I'm back and life continues. And so I'm trying to get back on the horse, as it were, and it's really, really hard. So I'm going to jump back in time a little bit in this video. It's going to jump about a little bit, I think, because I need to catch you up with all the happenings. Yes, and then bring you up to date, hopefully. That's the plan. So let's first hop back to the last few days in the studio before the mega road trip up to Scotland to see my mum and my sister in the wilds of the Highlands. I'd sold a painting just beforehand, and there was all the shenanigans going on with the Royal Mail. Basically, they got cyber attacked and they weren't posting anything internationally. Have Royal Mail given us any heads up of how long they're going to take to sort themselves out?
We literally can't post anything at all with Royal Mail. Not even letters.
Oh God, so we can't even post this?
Well, I'm thinking we use a different service, to be honest.
And the other thing that's always very time consuming is wrapping the painting. So if it's a larger painting, which this one was, James is on hand. He's the best logistical wrapper and makes sure everything is absolutely tickety-boo and safe. So very grateful for that. James researched quite a bit in order to find out how to ship it. And in the end, I think we FedExed it. And it got there, thank heavens. Non-stick paper, and then just won't stick, obviously, which is the whole point.
After being really ill, because it made me rest,
cleared you out.
and I was like, I think I really need, because I was really pushing myself.
Retail's bonkers, isn't
It is fun. And it's just when everything's dying down, like energy-wise, it's getting darker and darker.
Anyway, Royal Mail are still not back to normal. You can ship international parcels, but it's all complicated and James is trying to work it all out. I think we can do it online. It's all a bit more confusing.
And I said that on top of the fact it's been so wet.
So once we'd sorted out everything in the studio and done everything that we needed to do and closed the shop as well, we packed our stuff and we set off on a Sunday. The journey home took 3 nights because I took an extra night to go and see my daughter and son-in-law and granddog's son. The journey up was 2 days, probably about 11 or 12 hours with regular stops on top of that as well. It's quite a long way, even though I know it's relative to the size of our country, because I know some of you live in really big countries and this road trip might seem teeny tiny, but it almost warranted a flight. It's one of those funny things, isn't it, as well? Going away, I find anyway, let me know if you feel the same in the comments, I feel very unsettled before I go, and almost to the point where I'm like, oh, I don't really want to go. I want to be there without having to get there, if that makes sense, which I guess might be possible with a teleport. I keep wishing for one of those. So we drove the journey over 2 days. This was the part of the journey I think we were getting ready for our first overnight stop. We were really, really tired and we were trying to cross the Scottish border before stopping, which we did right here, as you can see. So that was quite an exciting, monumental moment. And then we unfortunately missed our turning for the hotel that it's just like a roadside hotel that we decided that we were going to stop at. But we missed the turning because of our sort of sat-nav on the phone situation, but eventually arrived at a different hotel. So this is where we landed for the night in this, it was actually not the nicest of places. It wasn't the cleanest, but it did for the night, and we both had quite a good sleep, which is really good. And then the next part of the journey is the exciting part, because it's the really beautiful parts, and we're just crossing over I think it's the Erskine Bridge across Glasgow, and then you get to Loch Lomond, if you're going to say it right. There's James driving away. And yeah, this is a really pretty area around here, Loch Lomond. So if you ever get the chance to visit Scotland, that's our situation with the sat-nav on the phone, which, yeah, we didn't have a proper situation for that, but hey, we can improvise. And then, yeah, it starts to get really, really pretty, and the mountains start to appear. And these are really, really big boys as well, so they're kind of snow and ice capped, really high up. And James and I were reminiscing on the many times we've done this journey, but we haven't done it for quite a few years, for all sorts of reasons really. Not one being the lockdowns. I don't think I could actually believe that I was going up to see my mum, and it obviously is quite a long way and quite a trip, but we were getting excited, quite a few weeks beforehand, and just, seeing the mountains and driving beside the big lakes, it was very reminiscent of the days that James and I were really early on in our relationship, in our romance. We were going a little bit down memory lane a lot of the way, just remembering where we'd stopped off before, to have cups of tea and breaks and things like that. And yeah, all sorts of little memories kept popping up, so that was lovely as well. I think the only thing that was a real struggle for me, especially at this point in the journey, on day 2 of the trip up, was my back. So unfortunately, the timing of having a poorly back was not the best, shall we say. But I was determined not to let it get in the way of me having a good time, if I could. And James had got me one of those heated seat pads that plugs into the 12 volt. And that was an absolute lifesaver, a real game changer. So I think that kept me going so much.
Oh, it's the toilets. That's good bonus.
Turn right onto the A82.
Goodness, he came to see me then. Hello.
So again, pick him up. So close.
Hello. Can't actually see what I'm filming because I haven't got my glasses on.
He's
It's massive. Hello, my friend. Oh, they're fighting over the oats. They are actually sharing. No, I'm okay. I'm not hungry. So Scotland is the most mountainous area in the United Kingdom. We're just about to enter here an area called the Highlands, and this is where most of the mountain ranges are actually found, although not the highest mountain. This is an area called Glencoe, and it's stunning. It's so beautiful. The glen itself was formed by an Ice Age glacier, and it's actually some of the oldest volcanic strata in the world. It's the narrowest ridge on the UK mainland, formed over 380 million years ago with a geological event known as cauldron subsidence. And then over a period of millions of years and the effects of glaciation, the rocks have been eroded to what it looks like today. The highest mountain in Glencoe is the Bidian Nam Bian. There's also 3 other mountains which are known as the Three Sisters of Glencoe. There are also a number of some spectacular waterfalls as well, and the water gathers into the River Coe, which is obviously where the glen gets its name from. There's a famous massacre of Glencoe which took place on the 13th of February 1692 following the Jacobite uprising. An estimated 38 members and associates of the Clan MacDonald of Glencoe were killed by the government forces. They apparently had not been prompt enough in pledging allegiance to the new monarchs, William III of England and Mary II. There are a few farms scattered about, but the only actual settlement is the Glencoe village. It might look a bit familiar as well if you've seen any of the Harry Potter films, because some of it was actually filmed on location in Glencoe, The Prisoner of Azkaban. So back in 2003, if you'd have visited at that time, you would have been perhaps a little bit surprised to see Hagrid's hut snuggled away there in the gorgeous scenery. Other films include Highlander, Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail, and Rob Roy starring Liam Neeson. There's actually a lot more to the story and a lot of history in the area as well, and a lot of other rather interesting but random facts, so I've just included a few for you here. We quickly got into a cosy routine of driving the 5 minutes to my mum's, spending as much time there as possible, and in between rests, naps, appointments and other commitments that my family had, we snuggled in our log cottage, both caught up on some work that we had needed to bring, and soaked in all our beautiful surroundings.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Fresh air.
Good morning. And of course, you just start getting into a rhythm in your holidays, a little routine, creature of routine, yes. And then it's time to come home. So that's what happened, exactly what happened. It was really hard to come home, it was really hard to leave. Now, I've got to try and land back here. Pottering is the answer. I'm quite pleased with my plant babies. They seem to be doing really well. I've got loads of new leaves and things on my little lilies. Everything growing really well, thank heavens. I did pop in on the way back to water everything again because I hadn't been in for like 10 days or so. So I think I might just potter for a little while. I think that might be the best plan for this morning, if it's still morning.